Good evening. Frequency's not in use. This is K4PEW net control for the Mount Juliet Simplex radio. There's not any emergency traffic. If there is, you'd already jumped in there before I got here. If there's emergency traffic, you can jump in anytime in the future. Even if I'm not here, you can jump in. I prefer you to call 911. You can see us right now on YouTube. You can see my screen anyway from my radio. And you can hear me and you can hear others when they chime in later. You can go to YouTube and type into the search block, and well, you can just type in my call, K4PEW, it'll bring it right up. K4PEW, the little picture on there is of me and my wife when we get married. Want to see what I look like, or my wife for that matter. Or you can go to our, let's see, what other, oh yeah, our regular website, 146415.net, 146415.net. Or you can join our email site and look at our schedule of nets, etc., and what we do on groups.io, groups.Indy Oscar, and do a search under MJSS, and it'll bring us right up. You can join if you haven't already, which we have 170, actually over 175. There's a few emails that aren't functional right now, but there's 175 active emails on our list, and I think that would be an envy of any. Obviously, it's of use to somebody. And we're used to us 175 people in some way, because we do net announcements, we do ham announcements, we do announcements regarding ham fest, etc., and a place to ask technical questions, etc. So it's kind of a good place to meet. There are, again, 175 is, I think, a testimony unto itself. And let's see, where are we? Oh yeah, the net normally meets at 8 p.m. every Saturday and Wednesday night. And we do that meeting here on, you don't have to be here, by the way, meeting on 146.415 FM. And the purpose of the net is to have fun. Apparently, we've been having a fair amount of fun. This is the completion of our 7th full year. Today's not the night, but technically it's kind of in between because it's the 24th and today's the 22nd. We started this, or I say we. I started all alone. I had a net. The first net technically had one check-in, me. There may have been some people listening, but I doubt it. I gave an announcement out, and I don't think anybody tuned in, or if they did, they said, "Oh no, not this guy." So I'm not sure what happened the first night, but the second night, a few days later, there was one or two, and the next week there was a couple more, and we developed over time. So now over the last couple of years, we've averaged somewhere in the 30 check-ins a night, which is pretty darn good for a Simplexton. At least I think it's pretty good. But anyway, 7th full year is, I don't know, it's a testimony to me showing up and everyone else showing up. Okay, tonight is, what is it? Tonight is, like I said, it's the anniversary week, and we're on net number, I forgot to write that down. So even though it's the 7th year, this is net number 728. We're starting from the west. 728 nets, of which Michael has been a big help to me, among some others. Kevin, KG4, man, I forgot his call. KG4, well, I'll think of it in a second. Also, I'm kind of all in that. Just finished dinner. Eddie, W4EBX has filled in for me for a time or two. And of course, Michael, KM4YRF. It's KG4MIZ. Yeah, it kind of came to me in my befuddled head here. Does anybody have any other announcements or questions? Because I don't have any announcements. Every ham event seems to have been canceled except for our nets, and we do have a Saturday breakfast, Saturday morning. That'll be our. We've been doing the breakfast 2 or 3 years. I don't know when we started that. I forget, but it's been well attended. Been nice to have you there. For those that are concerned about COVID, obviously you don't want to be there, or you can wear a mask. We're not going to force you to sit at the table. You can sit at the children's table if you like. But anyway, we enjoy to have you there. We enjoy meeting new people, even if you haven't been a regular on the air. We had a couple of people who are not yet licensed check in, through the website, and they're invited as well, in case they're listening tonight. And I'm going to go ahead and get started. I don't know how busy it's going to be tonight, being it's an anniversary night. I don't know if anybody even noticed or cares for that matter. But we're going to start taking check-ins. Let's see, if people short on time oh, by the way, there's this net Sunday night on 10 meters as well. That's at 7:30 p.m. That was the one Michael KG4 KM4 YRF does that net. 7:30 on 28 415. Of course, we have our regular net on the 2 meter and then 2 meter upper sideband, and our 2 meter and our 6 meter on Saturday night on 50.135. That's enough. Anyway, we're taking people short on time. Please come in. Anybody short on time? All right. Yeah, it's K. Hit that again. You're really low tonight. You might need to be getting a better place with that HT there, Mike.
Yeah, inside the house. Yeah, running a little short on time tonight. Hey, I didn't realize it's an anniversary. Congratulations there.
Oh yeah, well I don't know. It's a good milestone. I think of it's one of those things when you're working through any big long-term thing. Each day is just another day added to it, and we've managed to work our way through 7 years worth. I haven't been here for every single net because sometimes I actually take vacations. Sometimes I've been sick. One time I was in the hospital for 21 days, or 23 days, whatever. And so yeah, it's just, it's like 90% of life is just showing up.
That is long for both ground instead of flow ground.
Oh yeah, and I think we're doing a good thing here. I say we because I use that collectively, because if it was just me blathering on the air, wouldn't be any fun. That might be fun for somebody. I don't know who that would be. My mother, if she were alive, she'd like to listen to me. At least she said she did.
Yeah, definitely. The breakfasts are good breakfast together because find out, who has what kind of reasons, who recommends what. So that all works to our benefit.
Oh yeah, meeting face to face is always good. Very good, Mike. Let's go on. Who else is there? It's good to have you in there. You know you're on an HT, and I'm one of the few people who can hear you. Who else is short on time? Hello, Eddie. You watching a movie tonight?
Well, I put my seatbelt machine back together. I'm all hands involved in that. I put the phone out. They had a recall on. So I'm doing a little work on that. Thanks for doing the net. All you do is 40
Oh yeah. It's good to be here. It's good to have you in there, Eddie. That's Eddie, Whiskey 4 Echo Bravo X-Ray. He is in Gladeville. Good signal as always, and good to have him on the air. He was one of the early. Well, he's the renowned. I don't know if that's the right word. He's the one that said, "Hey, we got to get together for breakfast once a month," and then somehow we got to doing it twice a month. I don't know. So maybe we should blame him. No, it's always a good time to meet. It's been a lot of fun. Anybody else short on time?
number 4, Tango Juliet Foxtrot, Ashland City.
All right, Rick. Everything well?
Yes, sir. Very good.
Good to know. I'm glad you're spending time with the family.
Oh, absolutely, man. Got to do it. That's the most important thing. But hey, man, I appreciate you guys doing that. And, glad to be part of it.
Yeah, very good. That was Rick. Good signal out of Ashland City. Kilo November 4 Tango Juliet Foxtrot. Who else is short on time?
Whiskey Bravo 0 November Oscar. Good evening and congratulations.
Well, it's a congratulations to everybody who shows up here. And I know it's intermittent for some, but the net is not a net without people showing up for the net like yourself.
Roger that. That's quite a commitment you got. But good job. Carry on. I've got things to do and places to go and people to see.
I know my commitment to the Navy was 6 years, and I've been on the net longer than I was in the Navy.
Well, that's cool too.
Oh, I guess. Anyway, that's Mark in Northwest Wilson County. Whiskey Bravo 0 November Oscar. Who else is anybody else short on time? Do we have any first time tickets? I hear a squelch breaker in there. All righty, well, we'll start taking check-ins then from the west. Please come now.
KM4, wow, that's Mike in Belshire.
Well, I'm going to pay special attention to Mike because he's filled in for me more than anybody, and I want to tell you right on the air that I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you doing the net for 7 years, Paul, and I appreciate you checking in the Cheatham County net Tuesday night as well.
Yeah, we were half of that. We were almost half of that net when we show up there. You know that?
I know it.
Yeah, for those of you that haven't done that, Cheatham County has a net, and I noticed when I listened to it a couple of times, they were only getting 2 or 3 or 4 check-ins, and I thought this is an Aries net for Cheatham County. They're kind of a remote county. And it's an Aries net, and I just figured, well, we ought to really induce them to do more because it's not much of a Aries training net when only 3 or 4 people show up. So anyway, we've had several people from the Simplex net check in there. Of course, Rick lives out in Ashmead and Cheatham, and so he lives in Cheatham County, doesn't
Yes, he does.
he? Yeah, so he checks in. He's a member of the Cheatham Aries, and Mike is a member of the Williamson Aries, I believe. And I always make a point to tell him I'm not a member of any Aries organization. No, I wouldn't say it. I don't want to be a member of an Aries organization where they actually have.
I know exactly what you mean, Paul.
No, it's no big deal. You heard what I said on the air on the Cheatham thing. I think that we're the independent group. We're the ones who say, listen, we're going to build up a bunch of great guys and women who want great stations. And if an emergency comes up and wants help with Aries wants help or EOCs want help, they're going to have a good cadre of great hands.
But as big as the Williamson County group is, their Simplex operation is not really well organized.
Yeah, I listened to that, what is it, Monday night? And it was, I don't want to say what it was. It just was less than I would have thought they could do. And I guess they do that every once in a while. But I can usually hear almost everybody on the air in Williamson County who has a decent station, a decent antenna. Even if they've got a semi-decent antenna, you can usually hear them. I couldn't hear half of their people in the Williamson County. And they're Simplex. Well, maybe half is a big number, maybe a third.
Well, I could hear most of them, but I couldn't check in.
Oh, they couldn't. Well, even Net Control had a shabby signal.
Oh yeah, they all have great antennas for the repeater, but their Simplex ability is just not there yet.
Now, you're being kind by saying yes. They don't seem to want to induce that.
I don't know what the deal is.
Well, I don't know. Maybe someday when all the repeaters go down, they'll change their tune a little bit.
Well, I guess we'll see. Well, I guess enough about that. So back to that.
Yeah, very good. That was Michael KM4YRF. Fills in for me, and he's done a great job. And he does a great job on that 10-meter net on 28.415 on Sunday nights. Who else is West? I think we had a double in there, but I got you in there, Jack. Sound good? Oh, there's some static in here. Is that your mic or is what?
No, it sounds staticky to me too.
Well, that's weird. I don't think I've encountered that with you before. But when it went both ways.
Well, there's something over here in Donaldson that throws up problems sometimes. It's not always on, but it seems to be on tonight.
You know what it is? You heard about that Havana syndrome?
No.
Well, no, really. There's a bunch of people that apparently the communists down there are doing something to our embassy, and it's giving people strange medical symptoms, and they're calling it the Havana syndrome. Yeah, very good. But you sound good anyway. In spite of that, it sounds like you're, slightly off frequency. It's got that, it's got a, oh, I can't think of the right word, but it's static.
I'll see everybody at the breakfast.
All right, our 7-year memorial breakfast. Very good, Jack. Good to have you in there. Kilo Golf 4, India Lima Victor. What'd you have to say, Mike?
Yeah, your signal is clear as a bell to me, Paul.
Yeah, I think you would have mentioned it, but no, between Jack and me, obviously it sounds like there's a broken connection, Well, if you hear it you can probably hear it on the air here on YouTube. All right. Anyway, who else is West? Please come down.
N-A-N-U-T.
Hello, Carl. What's up?
Hey, not a whole lot. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fab. So I survived another day here, and boy, the weather was so nice today. I actually went out and did some work outside.
Yeah, it was a great day. Too bad I had to work.
Oh, is that? That's right. You're still working. I forget about that. But if everything else is good.
Yes, sir, Paul. I'll let you get on with it. Thanks for doing the net. N-A-N-U-T.
All right, very good. That's Carl in Franklin, and he does the Saturday night 7:30 p.m. If you've got DMR, D-Star, or Fusion, get on the air at 7:30 because he holds the net on all three of those modes. 7:30 Saturday nights, and that's Carl. And point your antennas if you can, or lean them towards Franklin. Who else is Wes?
Okay.
Hey, how are you doing there, Roy?
I'm very much fine, Paul. Congrats on 7 years.
Yeah, man. So now I got the 7-year itch.
Well, let's see. You only got a few more years before you have to worry about breaking the mirror again.
Yeah, that's right. No, that's been good. It doesn't really seem like 7 years. It really doesn't. I told my wife it was 7 years. She goes, "Really? That long?" I said, "Well, we've only been married almost 10."
Yeah, that's quite a reminder, isn't it?
Well, it's just funny how you. In fact, when she went on this new shift, she says, "This will be a great shift. I won't be home on either of the nets."
Yeah, well, there you go. And you and Michael were sounding really good. That one gentleman, I had a lot of static from him too. But Michael and you, crystal clear here.
Huh? Yeah, that's interesting. Well, something over there apparently in Donaldson is causing some rattle. I guess I'll call it. Well, very good, Roy. Good to have you in there. Kilo Oscar 4 Oscar Kilo Echo in Madison. Who else is west?
Four here, Fox.
Hey, Charles, how are you doing tonight?
Kind of sleepy. My day off. That's the grind tomorrow. And the wife is going to hear our lovely voices. And 10 years. I hope to see a bit of 10 years. Good to hear everyone. My dad's here. He's been here for a little while now. He's in Florida. And going to get up there and put the tree in there. I'm going to get this antenna straighter and a little bit higher. With an order to coax. So that's the service. We're going to get it done.
All right, sounds good. Your audio is a little low tonight, and the signal's a little low, but I can still hear you full copy in there. All right, very good, Charles. Yeah, I hope everything works out with the new girlfriend and the job you have there. Charles is in Joelton, Ashland City area. Kilo Golf 4 Sierra Foxtrot Foxtrot. Who else is west?
Delta 4 Charlie Victor Echo Mobile.
All right, Mobile Greg, how are you tonight?
I'm fine. I'm about to get into a bad spot here, so I won't keep you, but I will see you on the other end.
All right, very good. Yeah, I got you in there. A little broken up, a little picket fencing in there, but you sound good. That's Greg. He's mobile on the way back to Murfreesboro, or excuse me, Annie. Yeah, Annie. Kilo Delta 4 Charlie Victor Echo. Who else is west? West to go to south. One more time. I had a bunch of there was some picket. There was some noise in there. Go ahead again, please. What was that Y station again? Yeah, I'm sorry. Is that Whiskey Oscar 4 Yankee? I don't remember. Yeah, it's Whiskey. You're right. I'm sorry. It's Whiskey Oscar 4 Yankee. You must be mobile, Mike, because your signal is really bad tonight. So you're just working off a bad antenna tonight, is what you're saying? Is that what I heard?
Yeah, radiating 45 degrees upwards to me.
See, I caught it. You had a good signal right there, good audio right there, whatever you were doing.
Well, I caught a plane coming up out of Sparta.
You're cheating.
Well, like I said, the wind took my mast loose today. It was only temporary, so I had to bring it on down, and I've still got to do work anyway.
Yeah, I had some. The wind today took down some limbs. It wasn't a huge wind, but it was enough wind to knock down some big dead limbs out of one of my maples. Anyway, good to have you in there, Mike. Yeah, keep up the good work working on those antennas. That's Whiskey Oscar 4 Yankee. Let's see, that's Laverne, right?
It's Mike and Laverne, and I just wanted to say, speaking of USP article again, speaking of the Savannah thing, I was remember reading about that, and they used to bombard the U.S. embassy during critical meetings, and they caused folks to lose control of the bowels.
Oh, wow. Yes. Some wacky. I wonder what we do to them. Well, very good. Let me let you go there. The signal just eroded again. That's Mike, and he's in Laverne, Whiskey, Oscar, 4 Yankee. Who else is South?
Kilo Mike 4, November Yankee Bill.
Hey, Bill. How are you doing today? You know, your signal is, you haven't done anything different, have you?
Not since the day I installed it.
Well, the reason I ask is because your signal also is a lot worse than normal. So conditions have to be affecting you because your signal is always very good.
Well, it's nice to know that, but no, I haven't changed anything.
Nope, it sounds like well, the signal is the audio and the signal are such that it sounds like you switched to a cheaper antenna. I mean, that's what it sounds like.
Well, you're a little scratchy yourself to me.
Well, that would explain it then. We've got some odd conditions over such a short distance.
Okay, I'm going to turn those back to you, Paul.
Very good. Good to have you in there, Bill. I appreciate you being there. That's Kilo Mike 4, November Yankee. Bill, by the way, operates a fully solar-powered station with a battery connection to the radio, so that's kind of a cool thing. Who else is South?
Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor.
So you power your pacemaker with solar, right, Larry?
Hey, Jim, you want to?
Very good. You doing all right?
Yeah, man, we're doing good. Let's get on with KE4 SYB.
All right, very good. Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor, and that's Larry in Rockville. Who else, South? I think that's Kilo November 4 Bravo Victor Alpha, right? I'm doing great. It's such a beautiful afternoon. I wish I could have stayed out all afternoon.
I know. I wonder whether it's been like this, but I'm feeling someone's going to come back in for one last kick.
Yeah, it was just nice. I mean, it was cool, and it really did feel like the first day of fall.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm getting a little tired of the heat, but I'm also tired of the rain.
Yeah, your signal's the same. How does my signal sound to you, Preston?
You're coming in all right. The last two stations I had fairly well. I'm operating on a lower power than I'm not too hot coming through.
Well, you're going. I'm reading you okay. It's just that the signal's a little low. You know, the audio is a little lower than I remember the last time you were on.
I ran into some mic troubles the other night, so I may still be running into that. I tried cleaning it up and rerunning some things, but it seems to be working better now.
I don't think it's the microphone though. I really, the audio itself is fine and it's readable. It's just that it's lower signal than normal and it's just not as robust as it's been in the past.
Okay, interesting. Things been kind of bouncing around lately. I'll let you off the can for me.
Yeah, very good. That's Preston. He's in Murfreesboro. Kilo November 4 Bravo Victor Alpha. Who else is South?
Kilo India 4 November Delta November.
Hello, David. What's up?
Hello, Mr. Paul. Not a whole lot. This cool fall weather coming in. That's what's up for sure.
Man, that was a shock to me today, man. It was so cool out. It was great.
Yes, it was. It was shock. Thank goodness for them little lightweight jackets, huh?
Well, truthfully, being a guy who grew up in it's that Eastern European blood in me, man. I love cold weather. I could go out shirtless I'm like Putin, man, real man.
I got you. How's my signal sound this evening, Paul?
Oh, your signal sounds great. It really is good. It's as good as it's ever been. I think as good as it's ever been.
Okay, sounds good. Appreciate what you do. Carry on. KI4ND and back to that.
Yeah, very good. That's David in Reedyville. Kilo India 4 November Delta November. Actually, an excellent signal. It was like S5, a little over S5, I think, and a good audio. Who else is South? South or East?
WA4ZHI, James and Mount Juliet. Speak 4SOR. Good evening over down there, Paul.
Hold on there, Mr. Richard. I had Of course, James beat you to it. You're just not a quick draw, man. Hey, James, what's up?
Well, messing with my antennas today, and I'm getting out, but probably not to some people.
I don't know. We'll find out. But let's do a quick thing there. Michael, are you copying James tonight?
I'm not. Can't hear a thing.
All right. Now you're deaf. Michael's deaf to you. Anybody else who normally copies James can't hear him?
I heard Eddie a while ago.
Okay, good. You heard Eddie, but he should be. He's probably off the air. Well, we'll see who else. Richard, how you copying James tonight?
Not at all.
Did you hear the not at all there, James?
I don't hear him or anything.
Oh, you hear me? That's good enough for you. You need. I wish you could get that antenna outside. I don't know how you can do that, but how about in the attic?
I need to go chopping some holes. I don't want to do it yet.
Chopping some holes in the attic?
Yeah, to run the cable through.
Oh, yeah, I got you. Well, if you need help with that or something, or fishing wire down through a wall or something, let me know.
Oh, I just gotta take the notion to make holes.
Oh no, I know. It's always actually it's not. I'm not never worried about me. I'm worried about my wife. Worried about having holes in the ceiling or walls or wherever.
My wife would worry about it too.
Yeah, no, that's really the problem. I don't care if rats come through the holes.
When I lived in Memphis, I did that kind of stuff. I ran the holes through the walls and patched them up so they wouldn't, the bugs won't get in, the water won't get in.
Yep, I'm with you. No, I'm not averse to doing that unless it's cosmetically looking bad, like it's hanging out of the living room ceiling or something.
Oh, I wouldn't be allowed to let it come out of the living room. So I'd have to be in the back of this room in the back of the house, my little computer room.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. But everything else going good for you on this nice cool day?
Yeah, it's been pretty good.
Yeah, very good. All right, well, that was James. He's here in Mount Juliet, still changing some antennas. So really, if you need help with anything, then let me know. James here in Mount Juliet, Whiskey Alpha for Zulu Hotel, India. We got an indoor antenna, so he's been changing things, trying to see what works best. And I'm not sure. It's getting worse, I think, for some people. James. Richard, I heard you in there.
Yes, sir. We have breakfast this Saturday.
Does a bear take a poop in the woods?
Last time I checked, yes, he did. I bring you ingredients from Bristol, Tennessee. My wife and I were up there last weekend for the stock car races and had a ball. I wanted to say something else. Oh, I know what it was. It occurs to me tonight that everybody's a little bit squirrely as far as signal and audio is concerned, because I can usually hear Michael over in Belshire like gangbusters, and he was real scratchy on me tonight. And I don't know, other than some kind of conditioning thing going on, what the heck that would be. But I'm hearing some folks better. I heard the Franklin station, Carl. But it's a hit and miss proposition tonight. Something's going on with the atmosphere, I guess.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's the cooler weather and those little storm fronts moving around here. It has to be, because it's the only thing that's really changed. I mean, we haven't moved.
No, we definitely haven't moved, but yeah, the signals are. Well, Mother Nature's playing havoc with the signal. I'll put it that way. But carry on. Thank you for what you're doing. I'll let you later. KI4SIB and KI4SOR back to net.
Yeah, very good. That's Richard and Stephanie, KI4SIB and KI4SOR, just a little bit west of downtown Lebanon. Who else is east? Hello, Stan. What's up with you? Wouldn't have mattered. The first net, I didn't have anybody come back to me. I may have. I was willing to have anybody answer. Somebody send my wife out with an HT in the driveway. Yeah, I did. I had a. Well, I had. Yes, I had a. It's still up there. I'm using it for my TV now. Works great. I had a 5-element. I still have it. A 5-element MFJ beam and a rotator, and it worked great And then I realized it didn't always work great, and I realized why. It's because of that foil facing on both ends of my attic, north and south. So pointing north and pointing south, my SWR went crazy with signals bouncing around in the attic. It was like a microwave oven.
Yeah, I think we had an Anakin kind of over time. No one else up all I can stay here for
Yeah, very good. That was Stan in north side of Lebanon. Kilo Mike 4 Hotel Quebec Echo. Who else is east?
Whiskey 4, Mike Uniform Foxtrot.
Hello, Jimmy. What's up?
Hey, Paul, how's it going? I was on DX Engineering's website, and they have a book out now called Antenna Zoning for the Radio Amateur, which I'm assuming is some sort of treatise on various city and county and state and whatever laws about putting up a tower. I'm not sure.
And it's called what? What was the name of the book again?
Antenna Zoning for the Radio Amateur.
Antenna zoning. That's interesting. It's an interesting. I've never heard that term used in that way.
Well, I guess there's so many conflicts nowadays between people who want to put up towers and the HOAs that they wrote a book about it. They had that case down in Florida where the woman that said her insulin pump was being interfered with by the amateur a couple of doors down.
Yeah, I remember that. Well, when I first moved here, and I married the woman I'm married to, and she, and a couple of weeks later or something like that, she was talking to the next door neighbor on the phone, and she's saying, "Oh yeah," and she's not a good enough friend that she wasn't involved in the marriage, or she never met me, and she says to her, "I'm here listening to watching her talk on the phone," and she says, "Oh yeah, and my new husband's a ham radio operator." She says, "If you have any problems with your radio or television," and I'm like trying to cut her off. No, don't say those things. Yeah, it's. She says it's probably him. I'm thinking, no, it's not me.
Oh man, it sounds like you was enlisting you for all sorts of work.
It was just funny because she's giving a warning to somebody about ham radio when really if I ever interfere with somebody, it would be because I meant to, because I'll never do something that purposely interferes with a homeowner next door.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I heard on the news that this woman had they had wanted to do an independent study to see if the radio amateurs, radio radiation was interfering. It was actually interfering with the insulin pump that she had, and she said, "No, I'm not going to agree to that," because she commissioned her own study to get that done.
So, but was it determined that the person was interfering with her pump, though?
Yeah, the study that she had done said the engineer said that it was possible that the amateur's radiation was interfering.
Well, even if it was, the pump has to be in compliance with FCC requirements to inhibit those kinds of troubles on that medical device, I would think.
Yeah, that's true. I'm sure the pump has to be in compliance with FCC rules, but I don't know. Was this thing about where the FCC is now requiring you to do a radiation study? Was that was the result of that or what?
No, it was just I'm confident it was just bureaucrats finding something, to say they did something positive for the world, and all they did was a bureaucratic mess. 750,000 hams having to do paperwork that nobody's ever going to look at.
That's true. Well, look, I'll let you get back, guys. This is WME back to you.
Very good. That's Jimmy, Whiskey 4 Mike Uniform Foxtrot in Northeast, I forget where I am. Northeast Mount Juliet. Who else is east? Nobody else east? Kevin must be sleeping over there. Who else is north? Hey, Frank, good to hear you in there.
Oh, yeah. Good to be here. Glad to be here. Good to be here. Yeah, no, I was the one that sent that article about that Florida thing to the mailing list. But yeah, no, you're right. The study that had nothing to do with the requirement. They were just being lazy and said one size fits all. So we got to do the same thing as everybody else, but they're not taking really into account the intermittent use, or whatever.
Oh yeah, I mean you look at most hams, we're even a really active ham, he's only transmitting, even if he's on the air 10 hours a day, 50 at least 50% of it's listening.
into that. It's usually way more skewed for me. But again, I'm not super ham, so it don't matter. Yeah, no, I looked up. I actually found the manual and the specs to the insulin pump, and it actually it's the HF wouldn't, the guy that did the study, I don't think he knew what he was doing because he said HF could affect it, and it's VHF if you read the manual.
Yeah, again, that's odd. That's I thought it was odd anyway, because in most medical devices have naturally, they built the protection for RF right into the case.
Yep, and I mean that guy dismantled his whole station, so if he's still having problems, then yeah, if anything, it could be your cell phone. I mean, that sucker, I have a couple of those. Them things tear everything up. They come through speakers, through clock radios, because of that, you put it by your nice hand and you hear all these clicking and buzzes.
Yeah, I see. I think that if I was going to be the guy at the FCC who made that requirements for testing, for doing that bureaucratic test, I would say that I would change it though. I would say something to the tune of anybody doing over 200 watts has to do the test. In their and anybody who has over or 200 watts who has a beam of some type, that they can increase the PEP, because it's ridiculous to take a 100-watt station and say somehow they're a hazard to mankind.
Well, it's really 10 meters through 2 meters that are the worst, and then also the UHF could be that gets gained real quick on like the antenna you have or even the one I have, so you got to be careful with that, with the 70 centimeter stuff. But with the HF, man, even at 1,000, if you got a normal antenna center at a normal distance from people, you probably fine. But yeah, no, they just took the cheap, easy, quick way out. But part of the scrutiny is it was a lawsuit I think it was like a couple months ago that they lost. So the FCC kind of got in trouble, and it has to do with 5G. They didn't do it in cell phones, and it has to do with that they didn't do a good enough study because they were only studying RF radiation that can heat the tissue, and they're saying that you don't have to have heating of the tissue to cause long-term damage.
Yeah, I saw that. And it was kind of weird because it's as if the data that was submitted, it was even more. It's almost like they said, "Hey, if 4G wasn't a problem, we don't think 5G is going to be a problem." It was almost like they assumed it.
Yeah, and and that just stands for fifth generation. I don't know. I don't remember. Didn't really get into the frequency that's being used, but if it's if it's getting the really small waves, then they don't have a whole lot of distance they can travel. That's why they would need so many towers and everything. But I don't know. I haven't really looked into it. I just know about that lawsuit, and one of the pictures showed that the tree is dead on the side facing the antenna, but not on the side not facing the antenna.
Is that right? Where was that?
On one of the pages. Now you know how they can be sneaky because somebody can just take a picture and put it in on the article that has really nothing to do with what you're reading. So I don't want to buy too much into it, but that's what they were implying. That there's proof that all these things and like what's my brother complaining about the wireless meters and gives people all kinds of problems. I just think high tension power lines probably do something if you live under them, but yeah, I don't know. For us, just create all kinds of noise we don't want.
Yeah, it's I don't know. If we were going to worry about all that, I mean, I had an office that was. I'd have to show you a picture, but there was, I think it was two. I forget whether it was 2 or 3 commercial towers, and they were all on concrete bases like a normal tower would be, and they were guyed. In fact, some of the guys from the one tower came right in through the middle of our one-story office complex. It was whole suite and a contractor. We had an office in it. Anyway, once and anyway, here's these three. I don't know if they were all 50,000 watt stations, but here were these three, and they were sitting on this pond. There was probably a 30-acre pond, maybe bigger, and they're transmitting at that high power. In fact, in a radio, this thing overcame most radios in a car if you're next door to it, you know. But so all of that transmission, and we all live underneath some kind of RF or power line crap, you know.
Oh yeah, but I think you're RF proof. After the radar incident, I don't think you got anything to worry about.
I'm telling you, it cracks me up when I realize I didn't realize it was that powerful until I looked it up, you know, in the last couple of years.
Yeah, yeah. You came close to getting your brain fried. That's all I gotta say. But you know what can do that? Those if you go to those manufacturing plants that use the big electro-inductive heaters for melting like plastic and making mold. Yeah, you can't. You got to watch even having fillings in one of those places.
Huh? Yeah, that's interesting. Well, again, it pays to be, you know, pay attention. I mean, I kind of wish they'd have, and I don't even know. I don't even, I needed to ask more, but you know what I'm talking about, that the navigational radar that uses a bar that just, you know, it spins around in a circle, you know, on its base. That's the one I'm talking about. It's made by Raytheon.
Oh yeah. I see them on the cruise ships as well. Yep. I know exactly which one you're talking about. It's the little one that spins around. It's continuously going. So yeah. No, it's weird. It's good that you were able to pick up on it. You know, that probably was a good thing that you were able to go, wait a minute, what's going on?
Yeah, well, I guess what I don't know is I don't know if it has a null behind it, because I was behind it. You know, if it's only transmitting, say, at 300 degrees, you know.
You know, I would think it goes all the way around. But then again, I don't know. Not a navigational radar person, but you would think that you would want to see it sweep all the way around. So I'm not sure. But yeah. But anyway, man, 7 years. I wasn't here for the whole thing, but I'm glad that you're doing it. Thanks a lot for doing it.
Oh yeah, well, I appreciate it, and I really do think, um, I'll just say that in some ways, what we do by getting on the air regularly is we provide a service to others so they can gauge how well their stations work. You know, and there are new people who jump into Simplex, and they, you know, I've had people go, I really want to get, and they tell me, they email me, or, you know, whatever, and they say, yeah, I can't wait to get on Simplex, and then they realize that they really can't hear many people. It's a shocker to them, you know, because they're so used to being on repeaters, and so uh, they either give up because they don't have the money or the time or whatever, the inclination, or they go, well, I'm going to go ahead and spend a few $100s and get a better station. So in a way, we're doing a service to the hobby and the service and people. You know, I really believe it.
Well, you definitely. It was a motivation. Let's put it that way. I got tired of hearing just you. No, but at first I was like, is he talking to himself? I mean, but I know better. It's not like I just got my license. I just didn't have anything really up, and I'm like, okay, I got to put something up because I could only hear two or three people with a mobile because that's all I had was the one in my car, and I'm like, well, you know, I don't want to sit in my car all day. Oh, let me hook up my home station, and so forth, and I revamped it a few times, like you said, and yeah, and it's got me more active, and I got back into HF, or you know, got really involved on HF more, and yeah, well, thanks for the service. Or my wife probably would disagree because I spent money, but oh well, thanks, Ken, keeping on RKK.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's, you know, it's like I went through that same process with going from a J pole in the attic, that dreaded J pole, to the beam in the attic, to the, hey, I need to get something outside, and it was a cheap antenna outside of that tram, and it functioned just fine until it stopped functioning just fine, and so I went out and, you know, blew the whole wad on the Diamond X 700, and then all of a sudden it was like, hey, this is great, you know, and that's what I'm saying is, in it, I reached the point that my next step would be to put in a 100-foot tower, and that ain't happening. My wife told me it's not happening.
Oh man, no. We got to. I would love to see that. I can't do it either. My neighbors would say, no way. Thanks again, keeping on RKK.
Yeah, that was Frank, Kilo Bravo 9, Romeo Kilo Kilo. He is in Northwest Mount Juliet. Who else is east or north?
Okay, great.
Oh, Brian, how are you doing?
I'm doing real good. I don't have a 24-foot antenna on a pipe, but I 6-foot antenna on a pipe. But you won't get a 100-foot tower. You can get a 75-footer, or a couple towers that are 40 foot, and do a phased array or something.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Well, let me put it another way. She more or less said, you don't need no stinking tower.
Yeah, she probably doesn't want to be climbing it.
Oh, I don't know. She's just doesn't matter. I also realized that where I am because of the elevation and because of the antenna, with those two things, how much further do I really need to talk to serve what we do here in Middle Tennessee? I mean, do I really need to talk to Louisville, or wherever? Do I need to go out 100 miles? And the answer, as far as I'm concerned, is no. I mean, it's nice, but I don't think people 100 miles away are going to be checking, 80 miles away are going to be routinely checking in here, and they don't, because there are people in Kentucky that can hear me, but they don't check in. There's only two guys in Kentucky, and they are both in an elevation that can talk to me, and they don't. I mean, other people.
Well, maybe she don't have anything to say. But there's always the other band. You got a 10-meter net and 6-meter net. Both those get much further distances. So if you want to reach out, you go to a different frequency.
Oh no, absolutely. I'm not. It's not really a debate. I mean, I enjoy what I have, and we all have to come to, just like you have issues with, you don't have a great up in the air antenna. So you go, well, you live with what you got. I mean, that's what you do. I'm willing to live with what I have, because so far this particular way of my operation has served me and the rest of the people who are on the net very well. And so I'm going, yeah, that's all I really need to do.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if that were ground mounted, how good it would be.
Um, I don't know. You think, it might change the angle of radiation in such a way that it would be worse or better? I don't know.
Well, I was just thinking, you have a 24 foot's about the size of a lot of 40-meter vertical. But I don't know. I was looking at the one down below that. I think it's a 500 or something. Has 15 dB gain, slightly less than what that does. I'm just wondering how bad the next one down is.
Well, I've heard. I was actually considering buying one of the 510s, that X510. It has an 8.18. No, I'll get it right. It has an 8.3 or 8.4 dBi gain, and the one I have is a 9.4. So it seems, and the people who have one that I've talked to here on the net, they love it. They love the X510. It performs very well for them. So I would think it would be an improvement to anybody's station to get a 510. It's for $200 versus the one I have for just about 400.
Yeah, and it would be. I guess my only concern around here, we have a house about a block and a half away that's struck by lightning. Blew the hole, blew a hole in the roof, and took out all the electric. And I really don't like to go for the highest point in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I agree. But what's funny is, about my wife said the same. We were watching videos about terrible lightning strikes, and she says, "Man, that's just horrible." Is this, are your antenna a problem? I go, look, lightning is not necessarily predictable. Yeah, if you stick a pole up in the air taller than everything else on the planet where you live, yeah, odds are it's going to get hit. I said, but by putting up a relatively low height antenna amidst trees and other homes and other elevations. I've been in Florida where on relatively flat terrain, Yeah, there was people who got hit, but it's to me, it's 100% random. I mean, there's no such thing as, oh man, you're going to get hit if you don't unplug. The fact is, I don't care if you unplug. If you got anything plugged into the wall, lightning can come up from the ground through your ground system, up through your electrical system, and blow everything out. It doesn't have to come from the other direction.
Well, I guess that's pretty true. I don't know. Usually lightning hits something else causes the power grid to go up a little bit. You know, it can run a few hundred volts of, you know, it can be about a 600-volt surge on the ground, which causes, you know, eventually you got 220 coming out. You get about 600 on the ground, the 800 or 400 volts takes all your electric out. The direct hits are massive. And I guess, you know, there's palm trees down there we can hit a lot, and people on golf courses. There's lots of flat area with nobody, but, you know, 6 foot people sticking out. But I don't know. You can't, you know, the more you ground it, the better a lightning capture you have.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a very, it's well, I won't go into all of it, but the fact is, lightning is a random event, and I don't care if you've got the best grounding, you got the best ground, you got the best protection. I don't care what you got. If you get hit by a straight bolt of lightning into your electrical and or grounding system, it's going to blow stuff up. I don't care what you do.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you wanted to keep lightning hitting their antenna, put it on a giant insulator and make sure the insulator never gets wet. In which case you would have, you know, there'd be no reason for lightning to sink to it. But, you know, everybody wants to ground everything everywhere that they do, and you know, it keeps you from, if you touched it, keeps you from being part of it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, no, like I said, it's so random. The best thing you can do is just buy the ARRL insurance on your gear and just go from there because that happened to Dennis down in Murfreesboro, and he got hit, lost a bunch of equipment, and his insurance paid for everything. So that's really the answer to lightning protection, is because even if you put a bunch of stuff in there to protect it, it's not going to protect from a direct strike. It isn't. Anyway, let me roll on here. That was Brian. He's in Hendersonville. KA3 Charlie Tango Papa. See, I said it right. Who else is north? Anybody else north, south, east, or west?
Over here on the west side,
I'm sorry, there was really some bad static in there. You said something about the west side. Who is this?
Kilo, Oscar 4, Tango, India, Zulu.
Ah, very good. Yeah, your signal's a little low, but yeah, I got you in there that time. You still there? Tango India Zulu.
Copy. I'm here. Kilo, Oscar 4, Tango, India, Zulu on a handheld right in the middle of Nashville. Not sure how far I can get tonight.
Yeah, I think this is the first time on the net. I think we communicated by email the other day, didn't we, Don?
We did. I'm just trying to see. I've been listening to y'all for an hour, just trying to see if I can get there.
Yeah, you're doing fine on the HT. Not many other people can hear you, but I can hear. I have a good from my house in Mount Juliet. I can see the lights in Nashville when there's no leaves on the tree. I can see the lights in Nashville. So it's a direct shot from me right into most of Nashville from my antenna.
He's at 7, the meatball.
Okay, you got the guy. We got somebody in Belshire in Northeast Nashville copying you real good, Don.
Very good, very good. Yeah, I'm standing on top of a 20-foot tall rail car, holding one of the Chinese radios, and I'm about 6'4",
Well, again, your height and getting on top of a rail car 20 feet up in the air is going to be a big help to you. And must being 6 foot something is going to help you out a little bit too. But no, you can, an HT will work with the right elevation. I've talked to several HTs, well, people who have HTs, let me qualify that. They're working inside buildings, on the patios and some of those hotels or some of the downtown office buildings. So yeah, it's amazing what RF will do when you have the elevation.
Yeah, I'm trying to build a gang, get some games, see if I can get, hear everybody.
Oh yeah, you'd be. I think you'd be pleasingly surprised. That was one of the first things I did when I became a ham a few years ago, several years ago, was build a beam for my HT, and I was shocked at how well it worked.
Yeah, very cool. That's good to know.
Well, very good, Donald. Good to have you in there, and for the first time on the net, I appreciate you being there. Hope you enjoy it and progress like the rest of us have to get the bigger and better signals so we can communicate well. And that was Donald, and that's Kilo Oscar 4 Tango India Zulu. He is on an HT and standing on top of a rail car downtown and doing fine. He was just pleased that he could get into the net. Were you copying anybody else, Donald?
I copied a couple of guys. I was in a truck coming off the hill, off the 24. I could copy a couple and then lost them in the tree. But primarily, you're the one that I can hear the best.
Yeah, well, yeah. Where were you on 24 when you were listening?
Probably about a mile marker, maybe 30 or so. Up probably 15, 20 miles north of the split.
Okay, well, yeah, I get out pretty good. I get out about roughly about 40 miles in all directions. In some directions, a little better. Anyway, it was great to have you in there, Donald, and I hope you enjoy ham radio. I see you're recently licensed, so that's great, and look forward to you progressing in the hobby. It's a lot of fun. Anyway, that was Donald, and he's downtown on top of a rail car, HT, Kilo Oscar 4 Tango India Zulu. Um, where am I? Oh yeah, anybody else, any place, anywhere, please come in.
Comment. Kilo Oscar 4, Mike Kilo Delta.
Wait, hold on, Mike Kilo Delta. Richard, you had a comment?
Oh, yeah, you did talk. The other side of Birmingham, Alabama, and Monterey, Tennessee. That's a little bit further than 40 miles. Carry on.
Yeah, that guy had like 100 element beam over there in Monterey.
Yeah, he had a good station, but don't sell yourself short.
No, I know. This cracked me up though. Well, we also had some simplex activity up into, if you remember, Illinois a few weeks ago.
Yeah, that was interesting too.
That was a phenomenon I had not experienced before on FM.
Yeah. All right.
Very good. I think we had Kilo Oscar for Mike Kilo Delta. What's up?
Hey, good evening, Paul. This is Doug up in Greenbrier, still down in the hole with the old J pole, struggling along.
All right, the infamous J pole. It's working out good for you tonight there in where'd you say you were again? I forget. It's Greenbrier. That's where you are.
It's working in Lebanon, Tennessee. I can hear you. I can hear a few of the others, but biggest part of the folks I can hear did not hear the gentleman on top of the rail car. However, I admire his enthusiasm.
Oh yeah, that's giving it the old college try, man. If you're going to climb up on top of a rail car with an HT at night, that's a feat unto itself.
Yeah, I don't think I was quite that enthusiastic when I first got my license, but hats off to him. I just hadn't checked in a while on this end, so I thought I'd comment before.
Hold on, we had another station there. Richard, hold on one second. And Doug, appreciate you being there. That's Kilo Oscar for Mike Kilo Delta. There was somebody else who was trying to check in. I wanted to grab them. Who was that other station? Did I hear a station trying to check in?
That was Donald. Oh.
Oh, it was Donald. Okay, very good. Very good, Donald. Were you able to hear some of that other station that's up in Greenbrier?
I can hear the Greenbrier station on the J pole up there.
Oh, that's all right. Don't worry. It happens. Happens to the best of us. And it happens all the time to the best of us if we're not careful. Yeah, Richard, I was just saying, Lebanon's company in Greenbrier real well there, Doug.
I can hit that 11 repeater pretty easily too from here.
Oh, yeah, I imagine you can. It's in a good location. But yeah, how high up is your antenna?
I've got the J pole on top of 25 feet of chain link fence rail, but my shack's kind of down on the low side of my property. It's kind of down on the hillside, so elevation wise, it's not as high as the dipole I have up in my attic in my house.
Oh, I got you. No, it's doing a good job for you. So your elevation there in Greenbrier must be pretty decent, and because it really is a good signal, and to me anyway. I mean, it's better than well, tonight might be a good example, but it's a good signal. Let's leave it at that. It does fine.
Well, I'm glad to know it's working, but I am going to take one of your earlier recommendations and go for that GP9. I just got to get some other things taken care of. Some honeydew projects, bathroom remodeling, that has to come first.
Yeah, that GP9 is a fine antenna. Really is. It's a good one. No, no, all good things come in time. I mean, uh, we try to. Well, for me, it was when I first started. I figured I could do it all on the cheap, and you realize that well, cheap will only get you so far. So I had to, budget things as I moved along to do more. Anyway, it was good to have you in there, Doug. There was Doug in Greenbrier, Kilo Oscar 4 Mike, Kilo Delta. Is there any other stations out there wishing to check in?
Whiskey Victor 4 Delta, Ken, Smyrna.
Hey, very good, Ken. I think there was somebody else in there, but you doing all right?
Absolutely. Just got kind of covered up with doing stuff here and looked at the clock and realized I'm late.
Oh, yeah. Well, we don't have any rules. You can check in tomorrow if you want to.
Or yesterday.
Well, you check in twice tomorrow for the net for tonight and then the one for Saturday night.
All right. Well, that's good. Well, good to have you on the net tonight, Paul. I just looked at the clock and realized I was late. So, to everybody on the net, 53. Back to you, Paul.
Yeah, very good. That was Ken. He's in Smyrna, Whiskey Victor 4 Delta. Um, yeah, there was a funny. It was on that. I was listening to the Williamson County net, and it's a very highly structured net. But there was also they seem to promote the idea that the people have to request permission to secure themselves from the net.
Request permission to secure, not happening.
Yeah, I don't think I have to give permission for people to get off of their radios at their home. I mean, that sounds absurd. All they have to say is, "Look, I'm short on time. Goodbye." You heard that, didn't you? Didn't you, Michael? That people asking to be secured, request permission to secure.
Yes, I do. They ask you to stay until the end, but a lot of people just do it anyway.
Yeah, it's just I don't know, just too many rules, man.
How are they gonna know?
That's right. How are they going to know, especially as crappy as their antennas are? No, I'm just hoping that over time they can improve because they really, I don't know. I was listening to the net and I found it embarrassing.
Yeah, I have to say that I've been involved with them since I got licensed, and but this net is different than what they do, and I don't know. It's just something that.
Well, again, I understand. All I'm saying is, and I've said it so many times, I get tired of hearing myself say it. They need to induce people to do better because in a real emergency, you can't be, I can't hear you. You got to have net control that's good. You have to have alternate net controls if you need one. I got a big county. I mean, I'm not trying to run a county operation here, and I do better than by myself than most of the people in Williamson County on that area.
Absolutely, and when they do,
That sounds horrible. I don't know. I gave up listening to him. I really did, and I didn't ask permission to secure either.
Well, I'm not going to report you this time, Paul.
No, I just yeah, I was going to secure from sandbagging. That's what I should have asked.
Don't laugh out loud.
Anyway, no, they have such a good group otherwise there in Williamson County. That's why I'm particularly disappointed that they don't do a better job promoting the Simplex side of their operation.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, it's because they're heavily dependent upon the 52 repeaters they have, or whatever. No, it's not 52. What is it, 5?
Yeah, it's fine.
That's a lot of repeaters. I belong to a club in Florida where I was president of, and we had, I forget whether it was 5 or 7. It was ridiculous, and I didn't care if we had them or we didn't. And then that's the best part of that story, and I'll leave it at that. I know I've said it before. The repeater trustee, who is he always wanted things his way. He didn't like something that I did, and so he turned off the repeaters. And he says, "Well, I turned them off." And I go, "Okay, so we'll just do it on Simplex. We don't care. What are you saying here?"
Yeah,
Anyway, who else we got? Any place, anywhere? Sandbaggers, lollygaggers, lurkers, scanner listeners. Now you can't come. Call me. Who's out there?
KCH-RRO.
Hey, how are you doing? RRO, what are you doing, man? Kirby?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you guys?
I'm doing fantastic. Good to hear from you. This is the end of our 7th year of operations on the Mount Juliet net.
Hey, copy that there. I haven't been a part of it quite that long, but yeah, I mean, I'm glad to be a part of it now. There's no doubt.
Oh yeah, no, it's a good thing. It's all good. Like I said, the net isn't worth a crap if people don't show up.
Oh, yeah, that is correct. I mean, but at least we got a wonderful net control there, right?
Oh, I guess I don't. I'm sure there's better. I just like the fact that we don't have any rigid rules, and we don't feel like we have to implement rules. This is ham radio. This isn't the army. It isn't the police force.
Well, yeah, you are correct there. I mean, yeah, there's a pretty good group of guys on here. I can't hear a lot of them, but hopefully it won't be long, and I'll be able to improve my station out here. Looking to get a bigger, better antenna and lift it up about 30 foot above my roof.
Oh, that'd be great, Kirby.
And copy that there. Yeah, well, like I said, hope everybody's doing well. I mean, I know probably a lot can't hear me because I'm on my little HT out here on the back porch, but hello out there.
Very good. That's Kirby. He's in LaGuardo, and he's on an HT on his back porch. Kilo Delta 8 Romeo Oscar. Maybe we ought to have an HT night. Of course, that would make Richard paranoid with his 25 HTs. What would he do?
Turn them all on. Richard would have to try to talk on all of them, man.
Yeah, very good. Richard, are you still out there? Richard can hold his own net with 25 HTs. All right. Is anybody else? Anybody besides, let's see, flat earthers and SDR donglers and who else? Anybody else? Please come in. Well, I think that wraps it up. We had 27 on the net tonight. It's a good, respectable number. We're going to move over to 10 meters, unless I hear an objection right now. Very good. We're going over to 28.415, same frequency that Michael uses on Sunday nights, 28.415 upper sideband. And we will see you there momentarily, K4PD. You hear people tuning up besides me. This is Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey with the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net on 10 meters. We can take check-ins from the west. Please come in.
KM4YRF, Mike, and trusted Belshire.
Very good, Michael. Good signal out of Belshire. Conditions sound pretty good tonight. Who else is that? Was Michael KG4YR. I'm sorry, not KG. KM4YRF. Who else is west?
KG4ILB, Jack and Donaldson.
So you didn't have any interference on that one, Jack. Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds pretty clean tonight.
Yeah, that sounds pretty decent. Who else? That's Kilo Golf 4 India, Lima Victor. That's Jack in Donaldson. Who else is west?
Kilo Delta 4 congregate directo, Greg, and Antioch.
Yeah, you sound great, Greg.
Yeah, it sounds good tonight. Everybody sounds good.
Yeah, so far so good. That was Kilo Delta 4 Charlie Victor Echo. Who else is west?
Kilo Oscar 4 Kilo Echo.
Very good. Got you in there, Roy. Kilo Oscar 4 Oscar Kilo Echo. Who else is west? Am I hearing anybody out there?
I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, if it wasn't for those voices in my head, I wouldn't hear anything. All righty, from the south, please come now. Nobody from the south, please come now. From the east, please come down. Is this on K4 PEW? Looking for check-ins from the south or the east?
Rutherford County Slacker.
You see, there is a Rutherford County slacker.
I'm just saying, we still haven't got that group in.
Well, there's a bunch of people in Rutherford County. I don't know if they have 10-meter capability, but there's a bunch of hams in Rutherford.
Yeah, I understand.
You know, I think I told you that, didn't I, Greg? I looked up the number of hams in each county and did the calculate, not a calculate, that's not a real rough statistic, but the per capita, the hams per capita is higher in the counties that are rural. In other words, Nashville's got the lowest per capita number of hams. That's lower than Rutherford, Sumner, Williamson, Wilson, Cheatham, etc.
It's their demographics.
Well, it's partially demographics and it's partially city dwellers tend not to care about being independent.
Yeah, I've got a lot of pressure in my bloodstream.
Well, I got mine when I was in the Boy Scouts and it said, be prepared.
Very good.
Yep, no, it pays to be prepared, and I enjoy the heck out of ham radio, as you can tell. Anyway, who else is west or east? How about north?
Kilo.
You could have jumped in there on any of those stations where we're going right here.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I wonder where everybody went, man. It's 1, 2. Besides me, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I guess that's pretty normal. We get maybe 10 usually a night.
Yeah, we usually don't get south, but we usually get some east. So I'm shocked about that.
Well, again, I don't lament who does or doesn't check in, and we don't have rules, so it's whatever, you know. I'd rather have volunteers showing up than people feeling like they have to be here. You know?
I understand. Yeah. I think Richard secured without permission there because he didn't answer about the HDs.
Yeah, no, that's to me that's the beauty of ham radio. A, it's a hobby. B, I don't have to do anything, including being on the air. I don't have to do anything, and that's really the joy of it. We do what we want to.
Yeah, I know technically we use the same language in ours, and it's okay if you got an organization that's being relied upon. But if you're going to take check-ins from anywhere, anybody, then you really can't expect them to have to wait. But I know that's what they want you to do. That's why in a real situation, they need to know who they can depend on. But I get it. I get both sides of it.
Well, here's the deal, though. In a pinch, it's like if let's just say use a silly analogy here. If we had 100 bad stations checking in or trying to check in, on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, which would you rather have? 100 questionable stations or just 10 really good stations over the same area?
Oh yeah, obviously the fewer, but the quality is more important. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I was thinking about your Williamson thing. I don't know, maybe they have hills and they just can't get over them, I don't know. Sometimes you can't use Simplex. It just doesn't work for the terrain. That's why some of the police cars, they used to use VHF low to get over some of the hills because they used to work a little bit better than, That's what they complain about now with the 800 megahertz. It don't work that good in hilly area unless you have a really, really high tower. Anyway, I wonder if anybody else is back. I'm here now. Can you ever get that?
All right, let me double check. Is there anybody else who wants to check into the 10-meter net? Please come down.
WB0 interval?
Hey, listen, we have this non-rule rule that if you took an early check-in for short on time, you can't come back late.
I thought there weren't any rules.
That's what I said. It's a non-rule rule. It's not enforceable. That's the thing.
So you're lucky I checked in at all.
That's right. Absolutely. That's why I'm grateful. Anybody who checks in, I'm grateful because nobody has to be here. Nobody.
Roger that. Well, Frank woke me up is what happened.
His big signal woke you up.
Oh yeah, he's I don't know, maybe a couple of miles from me. And he just blasts me out.
Yeah, no, he's got a great signal. Really great signal. You have a good signal though too.
Hey, well you two talk amongst you.
All right, we shall move along and it'll close the net out, I think, unless we have any more check-ins. Please come down. Well, very good. We're going to close out the net. We had 7 check-ins on 10 meters. Appreciate everybody who checked in, and we had 27. I think it was 20. Yeah, 27 on the 2-meter net. And we'll catch everybody, whoever can show up at the breakfast, and whoever can show up for the net on Saturday night. You guys have a great night. K4PEW. Signing off, and what am I doing? 73, and I got to close down the net here. That's what I got to do. Catch you later.
Hey, Paul. Congratulations on 7 years, Paul. KM4 Wow.